Hey friends, what is good? A while ago, I had this chat with somebody who mentioned this. It feels like a lot of effort is spent fixing models because of bad exports or missing information. Well, where should I start? I'm not sure which tool we are talking about, but I think this is something very important that we should have in mind. I strongly believe that the reason for that is that the persons are not very comfortable going over the default what they see in the menu of exporting from Revit to IFC. Let's use Revit this time, right? Because in many tools, you can do extra steps that you can increase the quality of these exports. But they are not always as simple as in different tools. I don't know. There are some tools which are making this easier. Some tools are not making this so easy. What do I mean by that? Well, when you stick just by clicking using the standard settings, you are going to have problems because I'm sure that you did not model your model based on those mappings and whatever, how the settings are there. So that's the thing. That's why you have to go the extra step, see what tools have different approaches. Like in Revit, you have this settings file, which you can adjust like it's a text file that you have to fix. You have different exporters. The one coming in Revit with the tool itself is most of the time outdated. So you actually get so much more if you are installing another one, an updated exporter from GitHub or something like that, which has been improved and has many things that you will not find in the existing one. So there are more things that you can do, but it's very important to understand this. I don't know the other tools, but I'm sure like there are some shortcuts, maybe some files, configuration files or something like that, like also Civil 3D has, that you have to set up. It's not very user-friendly, it's not very straightforward, but again, there are options, okay? There are options. And I definitely recommend you to search for that. Revit has maybe the most, not maybe, most probable has the most documentation about this. There are many tutorials, there are many guides based on this. So it shouldn't be very difficult to find an answer if that's about Revit. If it's not Revit, then we have a problem. There might be maybe smaller tools with less users. So in that case, there might be limitations in the export which you cannot undergo in any way, right? If that's your situation, then unfortunately, you don't have many things to choose from and you don't have many options. And the only available option that I see is actually to fix these things using a tool like Bonsai. And thankfully enough, we have an amazing tool like this, which you can use to do that. You have to fix geometry, you can do it. You have to fix metadata, you can do it. And on top of that, you can also quality assure that with IDS. So again, it's something that you can do about this. I would like, personally, I would go and I would focus on the thing, on the settings, because that way you can have some rules, some workflows that you can respect all the time before you export to IFC, so that becomes much easier for you. Because if you are relying on Bonsai, unfortunately, even if it's enabling you with this workflow, you have to do that manually, right? So if you issue a new revision of your model, you will have to do it again, unless you find a way to automate that with IFC OpenShell, which is another story. You have to go very deep with that, okay? It's possible, but you have to know that you rely on data and you have to know how to use Python and IFC OpenShell. So yeah, maybe a bit too many things. But mainly, again, if we recap this, it's very important to look for the documentation of these exporters from the tool you are using. I'm sure that you can use that. Ask for help. Ask resellers and the tool itself if they can provide you with any documentation, any guidance on that. And if you don't find any other solution, then you can use Bonsai. Bonsai has your back, okay? And if you want to learn very quickly how to do that, then I run something called Bonsai Bootcamp, where we are teaching this kind of things. So yeah, if you want to save a lot of time and get help along your journey, we are here to help. I should also add the fact that the way that you are modeling, it also has a big impact in how your exports are going to be. Because if you model in your default way without thinking about how this information is going to be conveyed after that into IFC, of course you are going to end up with problems. So this is another thing that you can focus and document more on to learn what is the best approach to model from start to get something, a product that I can also export and work well in IFC. Because you have more ways to export, you have more ways to prepare this, right? If you do it properly, you are going to save a lot of time. So that's very, very important for this situation. Something that if you establish some good routines, you are going to save a lot of time. With that being said, I think you have quite many things. I would love to hear if you ever encountered this problem and how you dealt with it. I'll see you next time around. Have a good one.